Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soul Rehab Project. This is Sarah Saxby. This is a podcast where we talk about everything lies. So we expose the lies that we have been telling ourselves for decades, and we expose the lies that we're told globally. And we basically just accept the life that we see. We blindly accept the rules. We play, we play the game, and who benefits? And it's not us, right? So we're sitting here sad, resentful, anxious, stressful, sick, unhappy, chaotic, confused, and even more so now because we're starting to see like the veil is lifting, right? And we're seeing how crazy things are. And my goal is to focus on everything lies because everything that we have known to be true is a lie. And you're going to see that. And my hope is that I'll be able to help expose that quicker, and we'll all be able to start living true to ourselves, although it seems like a very hard thing to do because we've been lying to ourselves forever. So this podcast is actually, I think it's going to be 2 or 3 podcasts. So it's going to be a little bit of a series because I have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start out and I have a notebook down here that I'm going to refer to because I'm a person who writes things down. It comes out, I write and I write and I write, and then I talk about it. So I'm going to be looking down here and flipping through my notes so I don't miss anything, because this is very important. Like if you're at a point where nothing else has worked, you feel so empty and so lost, I assure you this information is going to help you. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to hear it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is what that whole beginning process looks like, where we start to betray ourselves. And it's no fault of ours. We don't know any better. This is the lie we've been sold, and we don't even know it's a lie. So what does that process look like of self-betrayal, and how does it sort of get worse? And because even just knowing, just talking about it, just hearing these things, because you'll go, oh yeah, I do that all the time, I do that. And let's not stress ourselves out and say, well, what do? I need to change that, because this is a process. It's taken us this long to get to where we are today. Let's slow down and know that nothing has to change at this moment. Because I work with the clients I work with, you could tell when we start talking, they're just like, okay, what do I do? And it's like, nothing right now. Literally nothing right now. We're talking. So it's like, let's just let it sink in and see what changes, what manifests in your world, just knowing the information. And the second part is going to be, so what happens over time? So the continuous lies that we tell ourselves, the continuous self-betrayal. And I honestly don't know anyone that's not lying to themselves, including myself. I'm the one who's just trying to like pave the way a little bit and go, come on, guys, let's go this way. So, I've been given the ability since I was little. I could always see when someone's energy didn't match what they were saying. And I thought everyone had that gift. Some people do, but not everyone. And so a lot of times when I just sit there and I'm quiet, it's because I'm listening to someone talk, but I can tell their energy isn't matching what they're saying. And I know that, I could see it. And when I was younger, I used to get in trouble for that because it would be too soon for them to hear what I had to say, or they would just get mad that I said whatever it was, what I saw. And so now I'm using it as a gift to help other people. Before, I thought it was like a curse because I'm like, why doesn't anyone else see what I see? And now I'm like, no, this is cool. Like, I'm actually, if you're ready to hear it, I will show you. I will tell you what I see. So we're going to talk about what happens over time when you've beaten your soul down so much. When I say soul, take it however you want to take it. It's your truth. It's who you really are, who you're here to be. That's what I mean by soul. Okay. It's like your soul is, so over time you lie to it so much that it's just not even, it's like you're like this pod person. And the third thing that I'm going to talk about is, can we come back from that? And it's a really interesting answer. So it might, like I said, 2 or 3 podcasts And I'm also going to talk about who benefits from all of this. This is a big one because my last podcast, I talked about that, like who benefits from your silence, right? So when we're silent, we're obedient, we obey the rules, we don't, ruffle anything. We just live our lives every single day the same, going to work for 10 hours, coming back, shuffling kids around, making dinner and doing it, all over again. Who benefits? It isn't us that benefits. So who benefits? And people will say, oh, the system, the elites, uh, all these things. And that might be true, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit in a different way so people can understand who they are. People always say, oh, they want us to be small. They want us obedient. They want us poor. There's a they, but it's not just a group or a person. There's more to it, and I'm going to explain that. So let's talk about what begins the process of self-betrayal. Why do we even start lying to ourselves? What does it look like? And one thing that just popped into my head and I wanted to say is that we can really see this a lot in the entertainment industry. Now, we didn't know that years ago, but we look at celebrities today and a lot of us can tell that they're not there anymore. They're not there. You can look at them and know that there's no one there anymore. It's because in that industry, when they get into that industry, and the older they are getting into it, the less the less they are available to be manipulated, right? But as kids, that's why the ones that were kids, there's a whole hot mess, right? That got into the industry. But when they get into it, they're given an option. It's like a contract, a soul contract, where they're offered everything, all the fame, the fortune, the $100 million mansions, the cars, the people just worshiping you. You can have all that, but you have to give up who you are. You have to give up your soul. You have to betray yourself. Or you can say no and you'll be no one. You'll be a very talented person who will be no one. No one in the physical illusion realm, the realm that is fake. And you can see, people will say, oh, the celebrity, oh, they got a lot of plastic surgery. Guys, it's not plastic surgery. They're not there anymore. They're not there. They're gone. They sold their soul. They're completely absent. They're gone. So we're sitting here idle worshiping and giving our energy to people that don't even exist anymore. And you can tell who it is. But we're given a contract. We're given this contract we don't know about also. Now, it might not be, $30,000 mansions, but we'll sell our soul for a nice house. We'll sell our soul for a job that we go to 10 hours a day we don't like, or, reporting to people who are complete clowns just so we could pay the bills. We'll sell our soul for a lot of clothes and maybe 1 or 2 vacations for the year. So we're doing the same thing. Of what looks good on the outside. And we wake up and we lie every day. So what begins the process? So here's some of the things that we do. So one of the things is we say yes when our body says no. So we take a job that doesn't feel right. So all the little things that we don't know. We agree to go out on a date with someone that we really don't want to go out with. Basically, it's all the things. Like I put nodding in agreement. So it's like, you're in a group having a conversation and you're going, yeah. It's like, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm good. You're lying. And it's like, well, Sarah, that's kind of pushing it. I understand, but you're still lying. You're still pushing your soul down. So it's anything that we say to ourselves, oh, it's just not that big of a deal. And if you were really honest with yourself, is it that big of a deal? Was it a big deal? And you might say that one instance wasn't that big of a deal, but when you have done it for 30, 40, 50 years, you've laughed at things that aren't funny. You've laughed at things that actually hurt you, and you never stood up for yourself. You never said, you hurt me. So what happens when you do it for that long? Another thing that we do is we pretend we don't see what we see. So you work somewhere and it's an extremely toxic culture, but Sarah, I have to pay the bills, right? But you're still, it doesn't matter. Forget about that for a minute. Forget about the fact that you need to pay bills, because we're gonna get past the point where we're struggling to do that. All right. But it's one step at a time. You're still going into a toxic culture, right? And then you have these clown, managers that are like, you're the toxic one. You need to be happy, and you got to be fake every day. You have to be fake. You got to make rich people richer. So you have to be fake to do it. Let's talk about being in a marriage that is completely dead, loveless. You got into it because it was the thing to do. This is what you do, right? You follow the script. You don't have any interest in this person. You barely, maybe the person's fun to go hang out with here and there, but there's nothing there. There's no mutual goals. There's no partnership goals. You just literally are distracted and running around all the time. And that's pretty much all it is. Maybe it's an abusive relationship, but your house, you got a great house. You don't want to, I'll wait till the kids graduate, all those things. You have a boss that's manipulative. Still got to go in, right? Got to act like I'm okay with that person. So we say it's not that bad. And, but we're at this point where we have to play the game, right? Or we think we have to. But again, over time, what does that look like when we keep doing it? So another one is we lie to ourselves about what our motives are. So you're staying in a relationship, you tell yourself, well, I'm just a loyal person. Or, I can't get divorced. I already got divorced once. I'm not doing it again. Or people, if I get divorced, I'm going to hell. You're already living in hell. You're not going to it. You're in it. So, you can make up all these reasons why you're still in the relationship, or, why you're staying, but you're lying to yourself. I'm a loyal person. What's that? So when you're on your deathbed, you're going to be like, well, I'm glad I was loyal. Didn't, feel love at all or fulfillment or anything. You can, I have a podcast about this one, about being a people pleaser. Calling yourself a people pleaser is just literally a cop-out. Because if you say you're a people pleaser, then you're just going to run yourself down to the ground and betray yourself every single day and say, well, that's just who I am. Nope, that is not who you are. You just are too afraid to stick up for yourself. You think people are going to be mad at you, and you'll feel too guilty. Or you say, I'm fine, everything's fine, but really it's like this slow death. So you don't need to lie to anyone. You just need to lie to yourself. And you're like, but that's okay. I'm just lying to myself. Well, guess what? That's not going to work. That's not going to work anymore. So you start using, the next one is you start using rewards to justify your pain. So you can say something like, well, I travel a lot for work, and that's nice. It's like a perk, right? Or, the benefits at work are good, so that's why I stay. The fucking benefits. I love that one. The benefits are good. Or you'll say like, well, I'm not going to do this forever. And then it's like, you've been there like 30 years. You're like, well, so it's like this, the system that I'm going to talk about is rewarding you for your disconnection. You're not connected to who you truly are. You're not connected to your soul at all. It's just like this lie that you keep telling yourself, and it's like you're juggling, right? And you're like, I can't stop, right? You're juggling just lies all day long. And what happens if you stop? I feel like D'Angelo Vickers from The Office. Okay, anyway, for what do you know, you know. Anyway, so the next thing is we what is it? We actually we come to a point that we've been lying and we've been living this lie for so long that we kind of, and this happened to me where I was like, well, should I just go all the way to the other side? Should I just give in to the lie? Should I just give in to the system, to the illusion? Because it's just going to be easier. Just sell my soul completely. I remember coming to that point probably a few times. Or do I just keep going and trying to, live true to who I am? And I came to that point, and I wrote down like a soul in crisis. That's your soul in crisis going, do I just keep up the illusion? Or do I face what's really hard? And what I wrote down here is you have a decision to make. And I said, do I go dead inside to stay safe, or do I choose truth and risk everything for something real? That's where we're at right now. Do you feel that in yourself? Where you're kind of like, well, I have a choice to make here, because you feel like if I just give in to the illusion and just follow all the rules, maybe I can make it work. It's like we don't want to give that up because we're like, no, I know I can just you're going to push your entire life and it's just going to crumble. It's going to collapse the more you keep trying to push toward that lie. So now the system, I want to talk about that. Let me actually, so the way that, so the system, who benefits from us staying in a self-betrayal mode? And if you want to talk about it on like a physical sort of realm, like who is it? It's not one person. It's not one group. It's what we call the elites, right? It's like corporations, it's institutions. They're the people that don't have to answer to anyone but themselves. They don't pay taxes. They don't do all these things like we do. They don't, you know what I mean? Those are the ones that benefit. But then there's that middle tier of like CEOs or people that run, the people who are actually at these corporations and institutions and things that are just making sure everyone underneath that falls in line. They get paid well. Do they know they're doing it? Do they know they're part of this whole thing? Some, but the money's too good to say otherwise. So they just keep playing the game. So they're lost in that matrix, 100%. But what we have to, and then the third level is us, basically. We're the ones who do the work. We're trying to pretend like everything we do is for the better. And, we try to do the right thing all the time, but it just never seems to work. We never seem to get better. We never seem to feel better. We just medicate more. We drink more. We do all these things. And we're the ones who are getting poorer. Right? So the system is that, but the system it's like a spiritual pyramid scheme. So think of it as the system is what rewards you for betraying yourself. It's a whole thing. And it exists to keep us separate from our truth, from our soul, from who we really are. Because our soul can't be taxed. It can't be manipulated. It can't be bought and sold on the market. But a corporate entity can. Our birth certificate can, right? But the more that we are kept from who we really are, the more we're distracted, the more we're posting on Facebook, Instagram, the more we're just trying to go blotto on a vacation, the more we're just watching Netflix, and the more we're agreeing to make rich people richer, and we're making horrible, soulless clients richer, telling them how wonderful they are. the more that we just stay in a relationship that's toxic or a loveless relationship, the more we don't stand up for ourselves, the more we just let people walk all over us. The system wins. It's not just physical, it's energetic also. It's the system. And every time we push our soul down, every time we decide to go shopping all day long, to try to get our minds off of the truth that's busting out of us right now. It is. Truth is shining the light everywhere, and that's why we feel so freaking chaotic right now. It's revealing all kinds of shit. The more we bury it down, the harder it's going to get, but the more that system wins. Globally, personally. So I think it's already been 21 minutes. So I'm going to stop here. But I'm tasking you guys with, at this point until my next podcast, I want you to look at where you have said those things to yourself. Where have you overlooked all those things? Where are you on a daily basis not being real? Because the more you do it, the more your soul gets pushed down. And then you're going to end up like these freaking celebrities who are just, they're gone. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. They're not coming back. You see them, but it's like, the glitching. People are seeing the glitching because they're not real. But that's what's happening to us. Same thing. And we're going to talk about that in my next podcast. So where am I lying? Where am I not being true to who I really am? Or look at it the other way, like, where am I being true? Because that's almost impossible to figure out. So strategiesforhappiness.com is my website. I have a 90-minute truth room session. That's pretty awesome. Literally, you can't afford to not do it. You can't afford to not do it. It's literally 90 minutes of you coming in with your chaos going, I literally don't know what to do anymore, and walking out going, holy shit, first time I've seen this. And it's really cool. You can go to my website, Strategies for Happiness, and sign up for the Truth Room. You can go to my TikTok, Sarah Saxby, and the link is in my bio. Or send me an email, sarah@strategiesforhappiness.com. Comment on this YouTube video, and this is going to be really good. I'm really excited about the next podcast. So hang in there, y'all. We'll see you soon.